So today I'm here to talk to you about listening activities in your adult classes. Okay, so everyone should know there's 4 language skills that we need to learn in order to be able to communicate effectively in another language. They are listening and reading, which are receptive skills, and writing and speaking, which are productive skills. The focus today, again, is on listening. And I think in Eikaiwa situations, because it literally means conversation, schools, our focus is more on conversation, and maybe the listening is, a little bit secondary, but in my opinion, it's just as important, if not more. Because without listening and being able to understand what you're listening to, there's no way you can respond, and communication breaks down. So, why are listening exercises important? Oh, 3 hands. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
To lay the groundwork for later stuff, like pre-teaching almost.
Because if you can't understand what the other person is saying, there's no point asking anything.
It's also getting a different voice from the teacher's voice over and over again.
Yes.
And it also establishes the proper cadence for speaking.
Intonation, yeah. Very good.
To help the students synthesize the other skills.
Great answers, you guys. Thank you for helping me right there. And one other point, I guess, is getting your students more familiar with conversational reductions, which we do a lot when we're talking. But, when you're learning textbook language, you're not as familiar with those like wanna, gonna, have to, those kind of things. Yes. So those were all of my notes, thank you. And a few more. Okay. Listening, for me, I find it one of the most difficult skills to teach because the results are not as quantifiable as, giving someone a grammar exercise. You can say, well, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. But you can't tell somebody how they're listening is right or wrong. So that's why I find it difficult. So unlike speaking, writing. Okay, so listening is a skill that has to be built gradually, and it has to be learned like any other skill. Listening doesn't just come naturally. So I would say even in our first languages, which for everybody is it English, we don't hear everything we listen to. If we did, I personally would just go crazy if you were listening to everything that your ears were taking in. One expression that came to mind, because I've always heard it kind of pejoratively, is you have selective listening. And I think you have to have selective listening because you're listening most of the time for specific information. When you're listening to news or lectures or traffic reports or weather reports, if you pay attention to how you listen, you're just kind of listening with half an ear. And then when your city comes on the radio, then your ears kind of tune in because that's the information you're looking for. So when you begin listening, you have an idea before you start listening of what you want to get out of the recording or the radio program. Okay. My point is we also have to help our students with filtering out unneeded information from audio programs. So, does anybody have any adult students that when you tell them, okay, today listening exercise, and you're like, or just, not too much excitement? Is that Dave? Thank you. Okay. So why do you think some of your adult students are a little so lukewarm on listening exercises?
That's the hardest part.
I think a common complaint, whether they actually think it is or not, is that they think they speak too fast. Usually it's one of those conversation, and they go, oh, too fast, too
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of apprehensive about it.
Yeah.
And then with receptive skills like reading and listening, students may feel, well, I can just do that on my own. Why am I paying money to come here
Right.
for something I can just do myself?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it's an A-private school, so they want to produce more conversation rather than go out on the street and just listen to someone ordering a pizza away.
Right. However, if that worked, I would be a fluent Japanese speaker.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had your hand up.
Oh, I can
It's my peripheral vision. Okay. Yeah, and I think a lot of times in the past, listening exercises maybe weren't done very well, or they weren't done properly by previous teachers, or students, like because they are kind of fast or more natural, if they lose track early on, they stop listening because they decide early on, I'm not going to understand it anyway, so they just kind of tune out. This happens to me sometimes. You get stuck on one word, and you're trying to, I know that word, and you're trying to translate it in your head, and then you miss the rest. And another big mistake, I think, is they're trying to understand every word, which is not what they should be doing. Ready for a listening exercise?
Yes.
Okay.
スーさんはよく勉強しますか？
ええ、毎日日本語を勉強します。よく図書館に行きます。図書館で本を読みます。でも、日本語のテープはあまり聞きません。
週末は何をしますか？
そうですね。よく友達と映画を見ます。
日本の映画ですか？
いいえ、アメリカの映画をよく見ます。日本の映画はあまり見ません。それから時々テニスをします。
毎日朝ごはんを食べますか？
いいえ、食べません。でも時々コーヒーを飲みます。